Well, good morning. See if you notice the change today. Different lighting, different location, and changed my shirt. Okay, so a good segue into our discussion of this altered state, which is beyond perception. So we have to imagine, okay, remember talking about a Hawkins scale where the rational mind, which obviously includes perception and judgment and all of that, has a vibratory limit of 400 on the Hawkins scale. And what we're talking about is a world, a consciousness that exists between the levels of 400 and 800, a much higher state of consciousness that is not limited to the rational mind with its perceptions and judgments and all of that. So we have to imagine how we of sensing things, of knowing things. Again, is outside the limitations of the space-time grid. You know, the space-time grid is where the rational mind operates, and things there are logical. But in this altered state, which is actually more real, one would say that as we develop our familiarity with this new earth consciousness, that the conditioned world based on perception and judgments, that we would say is an altered state. So imagine again dropping your body, and without the body, your consciousness, which will continue to exist unchanged in any way, it suddenly realizes that it's not connected any longer, tethered, confined by the body or by the space-time world. So this is what, again, I want to imagine with you. And part of our practice, like I say, is walking with one foot in eternity, where your consciousness is partly in this reality and partly in the altered state, but you begin making the shift where you call the world consciousness, the rational mind. You see that as the limited state that it is. Okay, I'm saying our tribal and egoic consciousness is a conditioned, limited state, and we don't want to be deciding. We don't want to be living our lives based on that limited reality. We want our reality, our true reality, to be defined by eternity, defined by truth, beauty, love, these spiritual principles that are truly outside of the limitations of the conditioned rational mind. Okay, so again, imagine living in a consciousness where fear, which is tribal, does not really have any power. Anger and or hatred, which is the hallmark of the egoic mind, does not really have any power. We recognize them, they exist. I have a tribal, conditioned, fear-based aspect of my consciousness, but it takes up a small space. Like I think it was Ram Dass, he talked about how as we grow, we still have the same these conditioned states, but instead of seeing them any longer as demons with certain power, he would say, okay, now I see them as schmooze, just little, just little playful creatures that don't really carry much weight. We recognize them. We can appreciate them. I can still decide if I look at sporting news or whatever, that, oh my God, the team that I really wanted to win lost. Oh, well, I'm a little sad about that. And okay, so that world becomes kind of like watching a movie. Turn it on, get involved, turn it off. But the steady state that we live in, that we return to after we take little excursions into the tribal and egoic dreams, the steady state is what is our reality. We come back to it. It's what is normal. It's what we want to develop as our new normal. Okay, so this whole thing that we're going through collectively is intended to support you in your choice to become part of a new earth, a new normal, where fear, anger, hatred, these don't have power. Because think about the aspects of paradise or eternity. Beauty, for example. Beauty is powerful. Beauty is like ever present. If you're paying attention, if you open your eyes and see clearly, you will see beauty all around you. Now, in the beginning, we practice going to beautiful national parks or whatever in nature, you know, a sunset or a sunrise or something like that. Oh, ooh, wow, it's so beautiful. Oh, I got to take a picture. Oh, it's so beautiful. Well, again, imagine a state of consciousness where that's normal. The beauty is no longer something amazing. It's normal. Because literally what happens is, as we awaken, as we allow enlightenment to occupy our consciousness, then beauty is something that actually we are co-creating. And that's how we can see it everywhere. Truth is something that we are co-creating. You know, it's coming from the unmanifested, where everything is radiant beauty. Everything is a steady state of truth. And then we are bringing to our function again to be the portal through which beauty and truth and love and other aspects of this spiritual wholeness, we're the portal through which those are expressed in our world. So we develop the ability to walk in the world seeing beauty, truth, love everywhere, because we bring it. It's not something that, again, remember that whole idea about seeking. If you're seeking something, like if you're seeking beauty, it means that you don't recognize beauty as a core aspect of your own being. And so you're seeking it outside yourself. If you're seeking it outside yourself, it means that you have used the egoic process of denial and projection. I've denied the beauty is an internal aspect of my being, and then I projected it as some ideal outside of me. Okay, this is the key thing that we're undoing, is this tribal and egoic limitation. The mind, it's really a form of mental illness when you don't see things clearly, when you've sort of made up a world without beauty, a world without love, a world without truth. That's an aberration. A clear mind, not limited by the rational brain, a clear mind, which is again connected to the universal mind, is always in contact with truth, beauty, love. So it feels, it knows those principles. That's why I'm saying we're beyond perception. You don't perceive something and then go, oh, that's beautiful or that's ugly. You actually know beauty as an aspect of everything. Just like you could say perfection. I would say perfection is another aspect of eternity or reality. Perfection. So maybe that's even a bigger principle than truth, beauty, or love. To be able to see perfection everywhere, that's again, you're seeing with not the body's eyes, you're seeing with your higher mind. Because the higher mind sees the perfection of everything. Remember, there is this unity, okay, that we could say that because we see perfection, truth, beauty, love everywhere, it's because it comes as a whole, as a unity. It's not like there's not separation, there's not divisions. There's one. This is, again, so important to keep coming back to this idea of this one radiant, eternal consciousness that is, again, using us as its means of expression into the space-time world. So again, imagine if it takes imagination to consider this would be the way that your consciousness, your mind operates. It's just simply a shift from the world with its conditional nature. Instead of the world being what defines your consciousness, you're letting your consciousness be defined by reality, by God, by the unmanifested, by, again, it doesn't matter the name, the Tao. I like the Tao, okay? So the Tao, which is the whole that contains the duality, again, your mind is aligned with the whole, and you see the duality, but you know the duality as what it is. These are just the two aspects, the black and the white, the masculine and the feminine, the good, the bad, two aspects of the whole. In the world, everything operates via this duality, and the rational mind has been trained to perceive the duality and make judgments, make decisions, make whatever, based on this duality. The shift allows us to base our mind and how it operates on the unity, the singularity, the oneness, the whole.